Book Krishna Consciousness, the Matchless Gift. We're gonna start with our very first chapter today, chapter 1.
Spiritual knowledge through Krishna.
Let's see. The aim of this Krishna consciousness movement is to bring all living entities back to their original consciousness. So, in our previous book, last chapter of the previous book, we discussed this thing that this Krishna consciousness movement is not something which Prabhupada ji has started by his own. This Krishna consciousness is from eternal time. How? Because we are fragmental part of Lord Krishna from eternal time. So it's not like that Srila Prabhupada ji has started this new movement. This movement is from eternal time. So the aim of this Krishna consciousness movement is to bring all living entities back to their original consciousness. So our natural and original consciousness is Krishna consciousness. That we become more and more conscious about Krishna. We think about Krishna every time. Whatever we do, we should remember Krishna and we should not forget Krishna. And if we do so, so we should always again go to the first point, that is remembering Krishna. There are 3 points: remembering Krishna, not forgetting Krishna, and if we somehow forget Krishna, then again go to the first point, that is remembering Krishna again. So this is our original consciousness, our natural consciousness. All living entities within the material world are, to varying degrees, afflicted with a type of madness. This Krishna consciousness movement aims at curing man of his material disease and re-establishing his original consciousness. So what Prabhupada ji is telling here? That if we are not Krishna conscious, then that is actually our madness. We are diseased. If any person you see around yourself, if he is not conscious about Krishna, if he is not remembering Krishna, then he is actually diseased. So the Krishna consciousness movement aims at curing the disease of those people who are diseased. So Prabhupada ji is saying that those people are actually mad. And this is so true. If we take very ordinary example also, uh, if any person, suppose if he is aware, if any person, there is a person who is not behaving nicely, he is shouting, basically he is not behaving in his original consciousness. He is shouting, or instead of consuming food, instead of feeding food in his mouth, he's putting it in his ears or eyes. So he will called as a madman. Is it not? He's just roaming here and there like a madman, and basically he's not behaving like a normal person. So he will be called as that he is diseased. He is mad. So same way, our original consciousness is that we become more, that we should be conscious about Krishna. We should always remember Krishna. But if we are not behaving like this, then we are actually diseased. And we are still diseased. But it's just we are taking daily dose of almost 28,000 pills of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, chanting of 16 rounds means almost 28,000 names of Krishna. So we are taking this dose every single day to cure our disease. And you will find any person who will consistently, without any break, he will continue consuming these pills of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then his disease, he will come out of his disease gradually. And one day he will become disease free. There will be no time when he will not be when he is not thinking about Krishna. That time will soon come when we all will be disease free completely. Okay. In a Bengali poem, a great Vaishnava poet has written, when a man is haunted by ghosts, he can only speak nonsense. Have you seen any person around you who might be haunted by any host? I remember there was one girl when I was in school. She used to sit next to me, in front of me, like just front bench. She used to sit next to me, and suddenly, she used to behave very like in awkward way. Seems like she was haunted by a ghost. She was not behaving properly. She used to shout. She used to shout, she used to scream, she used to run away from the class as if she was haunted by a ghost. And she was definitely haunted by a ghost. So I used to really get like afraid from her. And very bad thing is, she was sitting next to me only. So instead of concentrating in class, also, instead of concentrating on my studies, I used to concentrate on that girl. That like there is possibility that she will start screaming or whatever she'll do. She used to cry. She was like haunted by a ghost. So he can only speak nonsense. Similarly, anyone who is under the influence of material nature should be considered haunted, and whatever he speaks should be considered nonsense. Basically, whatever we are doing, if we are not speaking about Krishna, then that is nonsense only. Now, of course, if we are doing any job or any business for the sake of our survival, so definitely we have to speak with our customers, clients, etc. But basically, Prabhupada ji tells this that what is Prajalpa? Prajalpa means that you are not getting benefit from those talks, neither material benefits nor spiritual benefits. So that is actually nonsense. And you will see people like they often speak nonsense, which is not benefiting them either in their material life and what to say of spiritual life. So yes, anyone who is under the influence of material nature should be considered haunted. But any person who is serving Krishna, he is immediately free from the material nature. Immediately. The time you are serving Krishna, whatever devotional services you are doing, immediately you are free from material nature. One may consider a great philosopher or great scientist, but if he is haunted by the ghost of Maya, illusion, whatever he theorizes, and whatever he speaks is more or less nonsensical. Very beautiful word, nonsensical. So see, Prabhupada ji is telling here that that person, he is speaking nonsense. How he is nonsense? How that person is nonsense? He is PhD, or he is a doctor, or he is a scientist. But if he is not doing something for Krishna, then he is actually haunted by the ghost. And who is that ghost? Ghost of Maya, illusion. He is he is assuming all those things as real, which are not real. Real means everything you see in this material world, that is for specific period of time with us, temporary. But people they assume it as real, means they think that that particular thing or whatever we see around us in this material world, that will always be there with us. And this is illusion. He might be a scientist or doctor or whatever. But if he is not understanding this point, then he is actually haunted. And whatever he theorizes and whatever he speaks is more or less nonsensical. Today, we are given the example of a psychiatrist who, when requested to examine a murderer, proclaimed that since all the patients with whom he had come in contact were more or less crazy, the court could excuse the murderer on those grounds if it is so desired. The point is that in the material world, it is very difficult to find a sane living entity. The prevailing atmosphere of insanity in this world is all caused by the infection of material consciousness. The very first thing we should understand that any person who is mad, he will not accept this that he is mad, and he will think that people, all the people around him are mad. He will never accept his madness. He will never accept that he is diseased with madness. Instead, he will always think, he will always speak, or he will always accept this thing, which should not be accepted, that people around me, they all are mad. So this is also very what to say, difficult point. Same way, you see people around you, whoever, if you try to preach them, if they are not convincing and they are thinking that we are in very good state, we have no problem, our lives are chill, we are living like very beautiful life, we have no problem. So even though they are diseased, they are infected by the material consciousness, but then also they don't understand this thing. They do not accept this thing that they are infected by material consciousness. And instead they think that these people of Hare Krishna, they are crazy. They are just wasting their time. Very beautiful point today Prabhuji told in morning japa, that as we start chanting Hare Krishna, gradually we ourselves will realize this thing, that how much we are infected with material consciousness. We are so much in Maya. Prabhuji explained this with an example, that suppose if you are dreaming, and in that dream, whatever you're watching in that dream, you are accepting it as reality. You are thinking that I am so much in this dream, I am so much living here, and like whatever unreal thing also you will see in that dream, you will think that this is reality. But the moment you come out of that dream, you realize, oh, I was in Maya, I was in illusion, I was in dream, there was nothing real. I was getting very happy, or I was getting very sad, very distressed. If you had a bad dream, suppose, and if you had a very good dream that you have become a very a big businessman, or you have gained lots of followers, in real life when we do bhakti, we definitely don't want all these things, but in that dream we feel so much amazing when we see all these things. But the moment we come out of that dream, we realize that we were in illusion. We were infected with material consciousness. The same way, as we chant Hare Krishna, automatically by time we ourselves will realize that we are so much infected with material consciousness, and we really have to work hard to get out of this. So from here, we should take this, um, we should we should learn this point that we should at least make chant people Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Even if they are not getting convinced to hear some philosophy or hear some katha, then also you just make them convinced to chant round of Hare Krishna. If one round is also too much for them, then you make them chant 11 Mahamantras or 21 Mahamantras. I like nowadays I'm focusing on this thing only. That whomsoever I'm meeting, I should not I should not I should not means that person should not go means my effort should not go waste. Even if he's not understanding, if even he's not grabbing this, but then also I should give him, and at least I should make him convinced to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is very much important. See, this is really not ordinary thing because I know when Mataji, she is not so much inclined towards hearing philosophy or Krishna Katha, but she is chanting one round of Hare Krishna constantly. Like constantly, she's chanting every single day. Consistent, she is very consistent in one round. And automatically, whatever I tell her, like little things, she easily get convinced to follow those things. Even though she is not hearing any philosophy or classes, she's not hearing. She is not much inclined towards hearing. But then also, as she is chanting, so Krishna automatically opens the tap of intelligence. Basically, Krishna blesses him or her with intelligence. And by time, gradually, slowly, he will accept things. I'm telling about my mother. So earlier she used to chant 16 rounds, but now from few months, like 6 to 8 months almost, she was not chanting, but now she's consistent in chanting one round. So I often tell her some philosophy or some rules that she should follow. And she's like, naturally, she's doing it. Okay, I'll do it. Earlier, she was like very much against with all these things, with all these rules. She was like, I don't want to follow these rules. These are all like rubbish. I don't want to do this. But now she is accepting it. So Krishna gives intelligence. Because when we are chanting Hare Krishna, we are pleading from Krishna. Krishna, please engage me in your service. Even that person is not aware about the meaning of this mantra. But Krishna is very much aware of this thing that, oh, he is asking for service. Okay, I will engage him in my service. No problem. So, this is the amazingness of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The purpose of Hare Krishna movement is to bring man back to his original consciousness, which is Krishna consciousness, clear consciousness. So, right now we are in unclear or what to say, um, dirty consciousness, but our original consciousness is Krishna consciousness. And as we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, this dirt of our consciousness gradually Krishna removes it. Okay, moving forward. When water falls from the clouds, it is uncontaminated like distilled water. But as soon as it touches the ground, it becomes muddy and discolored. Is it not? That you will see when the water falls from the cloud, rain water, then you will see that that water will be very much clear, uncontaminated, same as the distilled water. But as soon as that water touches the ground, so it becomes muddy and discolored. And will you drink that contaminated water? No, we will never drink that water because it is contaminated now. It becomes muddy, discolored, dirty. Similarly, we are originally pure spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. So, this is our natural, original state that we are not contaminated by our nature. Naturally, we are not contaminated, but when we got in the connection, when we get in the connection of this material world, we our consciousness got contaminated, and therefore our original constitutional position is as pure as God's. So this one should understand that as we get in contact with this material world, our consciousness has become impurified, contaminated. But as we serve Krishna, as we chant holy names of Krishna, this contamination goes away. And our real constitutional state, constitutional position invokes gradually. And you yourself can see this, you yourself can observe this, that as you are chanting, you're hearing, you're consuming prasadam. So, that material consciousness is reducing day by day, and you are more and more becoming conscious about Krishna. Now, whatever you do in your day, you think to connect it with Krishna, to do it in connection to Krishna. You want to do whatever you do by putting Krishna in center, and you want to avoid all those things that are not in relation to Krishna. So, this is basically, this mantra is magical. So we should focus that even if we are not able to preach philosophy nicely, you can share your own experiences with people. That earlier I used to get distressed. I was not happy. I was not feeling any calmness. But as I have started chanting this mantra is so magical. You also try. If suppose uh, if they think that this mantra is too lengthy or very time consuming, then you can tell them to chant few Maha Mantras. Yesterday, Prabhuji was telling that even if you have made someone chant it, a holy name of Krishna, even once, then that is also very powerful. So even if any person, if he do not get convinced to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, so at least he might have greeted you by saying Hare Krishna, or even if he haven't heard it, sorry, if even he has not greeted you, so even if even he has not greeted you by saying Hare Krishna. So today, like from today, I have decided that I will be going on a walk, japa walk. Basically, like I want to take garlands and flowers for Krishna. So it's like about 500 meter from the place where I'm residing right now. So I decided that I'll be going there, I'll be walking, and I will be chanting. So I was in my mind, I was thinking this, that possibility is there that on this road, no one might have, like, no one might have not chanted, anyone might not have chanted Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So I will be chanting out loud so that trees or plants, whatever around me, they will also come in contact to Krishna. So I was remembering Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra in forest, and even those animals and birds were dancing because love for Krishna got invoked in their hearts. That's why they were able to dance. Even animals were able to dance. After all, they are also a fragmental part of Krishna. So this is really amazing that we give contact of Krishna to people so that they may come in their original consciousness. People are infected with material consciousness, but if we give them contact of Krishna, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then they come in their original consciousness. That is Krishna consciousness. So with this, we will stop our discussion here and we will continue it in our next class if Krishna is willing. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.